Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Today I'm making up a follow-up video on the Netgear Router rescue. Previously made a video on recovering an R7000 or R7000P, but really all routers made by Netgear like this one. And the official recovery of the Netgear router requires TFTP. But there's an unofficial rescue for the router as well, which I learned afterwards. And that is a different path to recovering the router. So if the official video didn't help you out in fixing your router or getting your router from an unbrick state to a functioning state, maybe this recovery process will do it. So I've got an R7000 here, which is typical of Netgear routers. And this should work on most Netgear routers that it is enabled in this way. So what do you got to lose? If your router is in a state like this one with the power light blinking and nothing else, which is where mine is at, bricked, not working, which I, by the way, did on purpose to this thing by flashing it and then turning it off in the middle of a flash. Never do that, but I did it just to show you that it can be recovered if that happens, or if your flash did not go correctly, you can recover it. So follow this video to do that. So what you're going to need a patch cable like this, right? Connected to the router on one of the LAN ports. Usually they say number 1, so use number 1 LAN port right here. Not the WAN port or internet port, the yellow one. Don't use that one. Use number 1 on the LAN port, the set of 4, okay? And the other end plugged into your laptop or PC. Now, if your laptop or PC does not have an Ethernet adapter, you can easily remedy that situation by buying a USB 3 Ethernet adapter like these. These are little Ethernet adapters available from Amazon, and as you can see, they have an Ethernet port on. Plug it into USB port, and if it's a USB 3, that's the best. But if you got a USB 2, they'll work as well. These are USB 3 devices, so they're full speed that way, and they're 1 gigabit network adapters. Also, they're under 15 bucks on Amazon and eBay. So I'll put links for that in the video description below so that you get the same hardware that I'm using, that I know works. And you're helping me out by using the affiliate links in the video description. And it doesn't cost you any extra than just going straight directly to Amazon or eBay and finding this device and downloading. So again, no skin off your nose, and you're helping my channel out, number 1. Number 2, when you go and use those links, you'll know that you're using the same equipment or gear that I'm using. Therefore, you know it's reliable, because that's what I use, reliable equipment. So go and help me out and use the video description links to help my channel grow. Now, after you've got all that set up, and plugged in, okay, the next thing you're going to need is some software. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's like, oh, my router is down, I can't connect to the internet. Well, that's true. If your router is your only one and it's no longer working, you're kind of up the creek in going on the internet, but really you're not. Number 1 suggestion is use your phone, turn on the hotspot on the phone and connect to it using your laptop or your computer, and then go get this software that way. That works. Now, there may be a data charge for that in your case. My case, there isn't, but in your case, there may be. Okay, so careful about that, or be aware of that. The other way you can do it is to plug in what they call an on-the-go adapter like this, which is USB to USB-C. Plug it into your phone, and you can see it lights up. Then plug a USB adapter into USB thumb drive into the bottom, like so. So you got this arrangement. Download it on your phone, transfer the files to the thumb drive, grab the thumb drive, put it in your PC or laptop, and use that as the software. The software storage for this procedure. That's another possibility. Other one is just sneakernet, go to your buddy's friend's house or whatever, and take your thumb drive, download the software there, come back to your house, plug it into your computer, and off you go. You can go to an open Wi-Fi spot too. Try that as well. That may work. And one more solution that may or may not work for you. Take the Ethernet cable that you have. Turn your modem off. Modem, not router. Modem off. Unplug the Ethernet cable from that, or take the Ethernet cable from that modem, plug it into your laptop or PC directly without the router, and then turn the modem back on. That should give you an IP address on the internet, and that should allow you to access the internet with one computer doing it that way. Now, it may or may not work for DSL, but I know it works for cable for sure, and it probably works for fiber optic networks as well. So try that too, right? But lots of solutions on how to get the software if your router is dead. And like I said, in my case, you can see just a flashing power light. This one's, you know, not dead, but it's bricked, okay? Which means it's not, the firmware is not working correctly and it's not booting up fully. So first thing we're gonna do in this video is go get that software. So I'm on Wi-Fi here, I'm connected to the internet, right? I've got more than one router, I've got several. So I'm connected to the internet. Let's go open up a browser window. Okay, and we're gonna go get the, let's go get the firmware first, since it's pretty simple. So I got an Netgear R7000, right? And I want the firmware. So I'm just doing a Google search here for that. And you can see I get the Netgear support product R7000. So we're going to click on that. We're going to the Netgear webpage. We're going to go to downloads here under support for this router. Now, if you got an different R6800 or something else, go to that firmware. Don't use this firmware for a router it's not meant for. You will make it worse, okay? Which you wouldn't think would be possible, but it is. So you can see here current versions, right? You don't want that one. You want the oldest firmware available for whatever router, Netgear router you're doing this with. So reason for that is that it's most likely to work without an issue, okay? So you download the oldest version, you get the router up and running, and then you go and update it to the latest version, which in this case is the 134 here, okay? But we're not doing that in this video, we're just getting it running. So scroll down to the very bottom. That'll be the oldest one. For me, it's the firmware version 1.0.0.96, North America only. If you're in a different place like China or anywhere else, choose the oldest one available in your region. And in this case, I guess you could be pretty safe with going with 1.0.3.56, because that's still very old, okay? But I'm going with the oldest right here. Click download, and I'm going to put this in a directory which I'm going to call Netgear Fix. There we go. And enter one more time. Now, so I created a new folder in my downloads directory called Netgear Fix, and here we're going to save it in there. I want to keep everything all in one place, okay? So we've got that, we're done. You come back here and get the latest firmware afterwards or during this process. I'm going to skip that. I assume you can do that. So let's go to the next piece of software, which is called NMRP Flash. So let's do that. So just type in that to a Google search, which is what this is going to do. And you can see that NMRP Flash comes up in GitHub. That's what you want, right? You can research this later further if you wish, but we're going here. All right, so you can see it here in GitHub. And this is originally Linux software, but they've ported it to Mac OS and Windows as well. So you got all three options, right? So you choose the one you want. We are doing it in Windows, so we're going to do Windows. Here you're going to hit just hit Control and F. That gives you the find box at the bottom left here. And we're going to type in Windows, which gets us quickly to the link to get the Windows software. Now there's two pieces of software to make this work. The first one is called NPCap, and the second one is, of course, the NMRP Flash. So we're going to go to get NPCap here. So I'm just going to right click that, open that in a new tab so we don't lose the original web page. Here we go. Click on that. Now you can see here NPCap 1.6 installer for Windows. That's what we want. Now this version may change over time. So, but currently right now, at the time of making this video, this is the current version. They'll probably go to further versions in the future. So we're going to download that. And of course, it's going to end up in Netgear Fix where we want it. Putting everything in one place. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to go back to the NPR Flash here, NMPR Flash or RP Flash, NMRP Flash, sorry. And we'll click here to download it. And you can see that the 3 versions here. If you're using anything other than Windows, you can go with that. Again, I'm just covering Windows here. And click on that file to download it. And you can see 4 days ago, so it's a pretty recent version at this time. So we're going to download the same directory. All right, and a couple of those are zip files. So what we're going to do next is go over there and actually, well, we've got all the software we need off the internet. So first thing we're going to do is right-click on your internet, your network icon down here. Right now, actually, just click on it and disable Wi-Fi by clicking on this tile here. Okay, so once it's turned off and it says turned off, that's it. We don't ever want to do any of this stuff through Wi-Fi. Like as far as flashing goes, Wi-Fi is dangerous to flash your router. Probably some of you were doing it through Wi-Fi when it became inoperative, right? Or bricked, as they say. So we got all the software downloaded into our Netgear Fix. So we're going to go to Downloads, Netgear Fix, and you can see that we've got 2 zip files and NP cap, right? So let's unzip these files. So double click it, and you can see that it's here. I'm gonna, you can hit extract all. I'll do that. There are other ways of doing it, but I'm just gonna hit extract because that's simple. I'll close that off, and then go back here to where we were, which is the download directory. Now you can see that I have an NMRP flash directory there with Win32, and this folder here, which is the zip folder. You can see the zipper in it. We're not using that. We're going to use the extracted files here. We'll do that again here with the compressed file that the firmware from Netgear came with, which is this file. So double click it, extract all, go with the defaults, close this out, and let's go back here to the original folder. So we're back to Netgear Fix here, and you can see we have another folder called R7000 blah blah blah, and it's a regular folder, not a zippered file or zip file. So let's open up the first one with the check file, right click it, and choose copy. Now we're going to go back to what they call the root directory, which is where Netgear Fix all this software is going to be. Right click here and hit paste. Okay, because we want all this. You want the NMRP flash file in the same folder as the actual firmware, because it makes it real easy to work with in DOS, which we're going to go into a DOS shell and do this, and I'll show you how to do all that next. But first we got to get the flash file over here. So open it up, the folder with it in it, right click it, choose copy again. Let's go back to Netgear Fix, and here we're going to go and hit paste. That's another way to go back there. And now we've got NMRP flash in the same directory as our firmware here, the check file. Okay, and that's ready to go as far as that's concerned. Now, third piece of software, NP cap. That's where we've got to go next. Okay, so double click that, and that'll begin the installation. And it says Smart Screen can't be reached right now, blah blah blah, insecure, blah blah blah, whatever, doesn't matter. Here we're going to hit run. Whatever comes up here, choose whatever gets it to run. So click on run and hit yes. It's already installed because I already installed it to test this all out. So I'm just going to say reinstall, say yes, go with all the defaults here again, and off we go. And after it's done, we'll have the support for that program, and NMRP flash to work on Windows. Okay, so this is step almost ready to go at this point. All right, so we've got all the software installed, everything ready to go. Let's double click NMRP flash to see what happens. This is important, so do this step, double click it, gives you the same thing, Smart Screen, whatever, hit run. And then if you get the user account control, hit yes. And then you get this black window. Okay, and there's a reason why we did this, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now we're going to go down here to search, and we're going to type in Notepad. And we're going to open up Notepad right here. And we're going to take this line right here out of this command command box. Okay, so click on it, drag across like this. Actually, just drag it to here, right? The firmware bin we don't need, so just click this part up to the dash or -F, and then just right click it. Now it doesn't look like anything happened, but it actually copied it. Go back here, right click again, hit paste. Okay, and this is the command we sort of need. We've got to modify this as well, but this is a command we're going to need to flash the router. Okay, so just minimize Notepad, get it out of the way. We've got this, we're going to close this and put this out of the way. Next thing we need to do is to actually set up our network environment with a hard-coded IP address so that the network card on your computer will have an IP address we gave it, therefore to be able to talk to the router even if the router isn't handing out IP addresses. Okay, so let's do that. So down here, right click your network icon, go to open the network internet settings, change adapter options, and you don't know which one it is. Okay, well, there's an easy way to find out. Let's just plug the network cable into the router. Router is on right now, but obviously not doing a lot, just blinking on the white. I'm going to plug it into port 1, which is the closest one to the WAN or internet port, colored internet port. And you can see that this one has lit up, which is the Ethernet 3. I got 2 Ethernet adapters in this router, in this computer. So here we're going to right click this, choose properties, go over here to Internet Protocol version 4 TCP/IP v4, double click that. Then we're going to specify an IP address. Okay, in this case I'm just going to use 192.168.1.10. okay, it can be just use that 192.168.1.10. okay, if this doesn't work for you, change this one from 1 to 0 and try it again, but I'm just going to use this one, and because it seems to work every time. So next, go into the subnet max field and it will just auto-populate that, and then leave the rest alone. Just hit OK. So this is what you should have right there, what you see on the screen. Hit OK and OK again. Okay, and we are connected to the router on the right port. So now we've got an IP address. Let's just minimize this because we got to come back in here and set that back to automatic and, you know, be cool after that. All right, so got that all set up. Let's go down here to search, and in here we're going to type in CMD, and we're going to run the command prompt window as an administrator. So click on that. Click yes on this. You want to allow it to make changes. Now we're back to the command window, but we're in C Windows System 32, which is not where we want to be. So let's go back to our folder here. Okay, so we're in this PC downloads Netgear fix. Okay, but really just click on this address bar here and you get the actual path, right? So you see the actual path, C users, blah, blah, blah. Right click that, choose copy. Okay, then go back to your command shell window and then type in CD for change directory, space, and then right click here and you get your path that your Netgear fix where all our software is. So click that. You want to see what's going on here, type in dir for directory, enter. You see everything in here. Next thing we're going to do, that we're in the right directory to do this fix, is we got to do a few things. Number one thing we need to do, your router's up, it's plugged into your network cable, it's plugged in, which is plugged into your PC. We're going to type. Let me do this correctly this time. It's NMRP flash.exe. There's a lot of steps to this. Sorry, and you know, so don't do that last thing. All right, click on. So we're in the DOS shell. I'm going to highlight NMRP flash.exe. Then, you know, just right click it, and though nothing seems to have happened, you've actually copied it. Now you right click on your command line where we're typing in commands, and you can just do that, or you can just type it in. And then here we're going to do -/L. Okay, and you know, ignore this. Don't do this at all. This is not the right command. This is the right command. Let's do this one. So there we go. Enter it. And you get this output, right? Now the importance of this is that you need to know what the net number is. Here it's net 4, right? And the reason we know it's net 4 because this is the IP address we gave that network card, 192.168.1.10, okay? So if we look down here on Notepad where we, you know, saved our original command from the first running. We're going to change this to net 4, corresponding to that IP address that we put on the network card. Okay. Then we're going to take that and hit, highlight it, copy it, drop it down here into the DOS box. So right click, right, and didn't take it. Let's try it again. Control C. There we go. Minimize this. Let's try this again. There we go. Did it that time. And what you need to do next is put the firmware file name that we're going to put in. So you can do that by typing it in, or you can just go highlight it here. It's the check file, CHK file. So right click that and hit paste. So or right click it, highlight it here, right click it, and then right click down here, and it'll self-populate. Otherwise, type it in if you wish, right? Okay, so now we're ready to go. Next thing you need to do is power down your router, power it up, and wait for when it starts blinking like it was just a second ago. You want to start fresh because it seems to work better on a fresh reboot. So we got all the lights on here. It's doing its thing, right? Okay, so now hit enter. And there we go. So NMRP server on net 4, right? And it's blinking away here. You can see it's talking. See what happens. And if it doesn't work first time, it's simple. Just reboot the router. Do it again. Let this NMRP server on net 4 continue on. Okay, so didn't for me, obviously. So let's try one more time. So leave the program running and try it again. See what happens. And see, all the lights are on. That's normal. It won't do that anything with this router. There we go. That time it took it. So, second time's a charm. So if it doesn't work first time, you were a little too late, obviously, or I didn't wait long enough. Just reboot the router while the program is running, like while that advertising NMRP server on net 4 is running, and then you'll get this happening. And you can see that it's talking there, right? Okay. And don't do what I'm doing by handling the router, because it's kind of dangerous if the cord falls out or whatever. But I'm just showing you how it's working, okay? So it's right now transferring the firmware file over to the router. Big plus if your router wasn't working with the TFTP method. This is better, or at least, any method that works is good. And this one seems to work just fine. Like I said, this is the R7000. I've done this on an R7000P. It works exactly the same way, same procedure. So I'm assuming it works on most Netgear routers. Okay, so try it on yours and see what happens. And I'm working on a video for serial recovery of this router, but I don't have that yet. So give me some time on that in the future. I may put it in. Okay, receive keep alive request. Now, usually that takes anywhere from 1 to 30 seconds to go away. So I'll leave that be there. 5. Last time it took like 9 seconds, but we'll count it through. Maybe I'll speed that up on the video. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take a little longer this time. I'll put this down for now. Okay, so there we go. It says receive keep alive request, remote finished, closing connection. Your device, reboot your device now. So we'll do that. It's finished. You can, follow the directions right on the screen. Don't do anything until it tells you to do it, okay? Otherwise, you'll be back to square one, right? So we're rebooting it. You've got the Christmas tree there. And that refers to drag racing. And it will boot up here in a minute with the regular white lights, not red light anymore. Okay, so we'll see that here in a second. And once it shows that, we'll connect to it on browser window. Okay, we're still connected with the LAN cable. Everything's cool. I just thought of another possibility of what could happen too. This will boot. Give me a minute. Okay, so let's go and Okay, let's go and see. We're done with this window. We'll just minimize it for now. Let's go and see over here on network adapter. The next thing you want to do while that's booting up, let's go to network adapter and choose properties. Yeah, it's actually just finished booting up. But so go to your network adapter, choose properties, then go to TCP Internet Protocol version 4, TCP IPv4, and let's just take this back to automatic on the obtain an IP address automatically and DNS server address automatically, and hit OK. OK, and show you what state the router is in right now. Nice white lights, lots of them, not just one, so it looks functional. I'm going to disconnect the network cable and reconnect it. And I don't know why that came up, but it doesn't matter. You hit escape, off it goes. Escape. Don't want that. And now we should have a status on that router. Let's see what we get for an IP address. So right click it, choose status, go to details. You can see my IP address now is 192.168.1.2 and the gateway is 192.168.1.1. So it changed the IP address. Router is obviously working. Let's go back to the router here. You will just open up 192.168.1.1. There we go. And you get the R7000 Netgear Genie, which is good news. So let's configure the internet connection myself. You can go through the process any way you wish at this point. Your router's working. Yahoo, right? Yeah, let's have a party about that. That's really awesome. Let's hit next. Yeah, I got some network experience. And then you get the login page. Default username and password, admin for the username, lowercase, all lowercase, and same with the password. Password, the word password, lowercase. Okay, sign in. Change that as soon as you can. I'll show you where to go do that. Go to advanced, and as you can see, the router's working. Go to administration. There's your router update, but you want to set your password first, right? So change your password to whatever you want it to be. And when you're done, don't forget, go get your latest version of your firmware. Go to router update up here and browse it, put it in here, and update it to the latest one. Okay. So, and then after, when you put it in here, just hit upload and off you go. And if you're connected to the internet, you can just hit the check button here and the process will happen more or less automatically to the latest one. Okay. So let's not forget down here, I turned off Wi-Fi. So you want to click on that and turn it back on. I'm going to leave it off for now because I don't want anything popping up that I don't need. So again, as you can see, router is recovered. As you can see right here, all the lights are nice and white and it's blinking away, and obviously we have it on the screen, so it's working. So this is the second method, the hack method. I call it the hack method because it's not officially supported by Netgear, and it's software written by somebody, I believe, outside of Netgear. Anyway, so that to me is kind of a hack. So here we go. It's perfectly functioning. That's it on this recovery. Hopefully that fixes up your router. Again, I'm working on serial recovery on this router, requiring physical connections to the actual router itself inside the circuit board. So stay tuned for that. If I figure it out, I'll put it up, and then you can try that method if the first two don't work at all. Again, I'll put cards up here for the original method and so on. All right, that's it for my video. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a huge favor. Give me a thumbs up at the bottom here. Like my video. That helps me on rank on YouTube, and I appreciate that greatly. Also, if you like my content and want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And as part of that process, make sure you hit the bell icon. That bell notification icon will give you a notification every time I put up a new video, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. Once again, and like always, I want to thank you so much for watching and helping me out and supporting me here on YouTube. Appreciate those. I appreciate your donations too. I've gotten a few of those, and it's like that makes my day. So I really appreciate those as well. So again, use the links in the video description. That helps me, stay on YouTube and bring you more of this kind of content. And it doesn't cost you anything to use them. Again, there's the added benefit that you get the exact same hardware that I'm using in the video. And I use myself, which I trust, and works great. So please, video description, use those links. Also, in the comment section, put your comments, put your questions, put your whatever you want to say to me, communications in the comment section. I do watch those and I respond to them regularly. Video suggestions, really appreciate those, because I made a lot of videos, including the original one of this one, because of video suggestions in the comment section. So I appreciate those as well. All right. So once again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it greatly. And like always, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you on the next video.